you might as well give up. I'm...
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? Strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel and thank you for clicking on the video. As you saw in that gameplay, yeah, I'm not kidding. This build will make you invincible forever for the entire duration of the mission. I think it's quite broken. You never worry about dying, CCing, the acolytes, everything you'd normally be afraid of. Don't be. This build gives you everything you need to be unstoppable and invincible. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about the build. Now you'll notice I have 110% strength, and if you know anything about Nyx, you know that Psychic Bolts requires 130% strength to fully armor strip with Psychic Bolts. Now, I do have a red Archon shard that is giving me 10% strength, and with Corrosive Projection, that brings the total of 88% defense and 18% reduction overall, which means with these two items, you will be able to fully armor strip without 130% strength. This is going to give you the ability to run all the other mods that we need here without having to put in Intensify or something like that. Now for her skills, I replace Mind Freak with Fractured Blast. When you kill an enemy after applying the skill to them, they're going to drop health and energy. Now this is important because we're going to be in her fourth skill, Absorb, constantly, and we never want to fall out of it. And so the way we mitigate that is by using Equilibrium, Arcane Energize, Fleeting Expertise, and Prime Flow. All four of these items are going to enable you to never run out of energy, never fall out of your fourth skill, and never stop being invincible. Now the thing about Fleeting Expertise is it does have a minus 60% ability duration. However, we are combating that with Prime Continuity, and so we almost break even with just this mod, but we're also running Multificiency, which is going to net us an additional 36% duration while our shields are full. However, we are going to be invincible, so our ability duration is always going to be at 36% because our shields are always going to be full. So this is really nice, and the duration shows 95%, but thanks to this arcane, it's actually going to be about 131%. Now, like I said with Psychic Bolts, you do need 130% strength in order to fully strip armor, but with the Archon Shard and Corrosive Projection, we're getting that full armor strip regardless. And thanks to Pacifying Bolts, we're going to be stripping more enemy armor thanks to its ability, which is going to give us 3 additional bolts to hit 3 additional enemies. Now, the cool thing about this ability is it actually works on Acolytes as well. So it's one of the few things in the game that actually strips Acolyte armor. So this is kind of increasing Nyx's viability in my mind, just thanks to this ability alone. Now, Chaos is a really good ability. We are running the Chaos Sphere augment as well. This is just going to increase the range and duration of the skill and enable enemies to kind of shoot you less. Even though you're invincible, they'll be shooting each other, getting CC'd, and you'll just be walking around like a Terminator, completely invincible to everything in your path, never taking any damage. It's awesome. Now with Absorb, we are running the Assimilate augment. This is the whole reason this build exists. This mod is going to allow us to walk around at 50% speed and enable us to use weapons and be invincible while doing it. Like I mentioned, we want to make sure that we never run out of energy, so we have Fractured Blast, Prime Flow, Fleeting Expertise, Equilibrium, and Arcane Energize to mitigate that and prevent us from ever hitting 0 and always being invincible forever. Now we also have Preparation. This is kind of a flex slot. Because you're invincible, you don't need Prime Sure-Footed, and this is kind of just a quality of life mod that is going to help you start the mission quicker and prevent you from having to wait for your energy to fully max out. So that way when you spawn on the mission, you just immediately have all of your energy. You can start right away. Let's talk about our guns of choice. Now, I am using the Boar Prime, the Nucor, and the Glaive. Now, the Boar Prime is really good. It's an Incarnate weapon currently, and when you actually use it against the Acolyte when their armor is stripped, even in its normal mode, it actually shreds them and you can kill them in like 4 or 5 shots. It's just that good. But the reason we're using it is its ability to chain link to enemies while it's in its Incarnate mode. It does a whole lot of damage and you're stripping their armor, and it's basically like a primary Nucor that actually crits. It's really, really strong. These are the evolutions I'm using. And then these are its stats. Now, I do have a Riven in it, but for the video's sake, this is the build I would recommend running if you don't have one. Hunter Munitions is kind of not necessary because you'll be killing these enemies so quick. So if you want to run like maybe Blaze or something to increase your damage even further, you can do that. I do have Shotgun Vendetta in here because we don't need Merciless. We do have Prime Point Blank, and Shotgun Vendetta is going to increase our reload and give us more multi-shot. These are the stats for non-Riven holders. It's super, super good. If you do have a Riven, I would shoot for crit chance or crit damage and a negative. These are the stats that I'm getting. Now, a nuance mod as well is Chilling Reload. Again, the Boar's reload is quite slow, even with the evolution for it, with the Incarnate mode. However, with Chilling Reload, you're combating that even further, and you're getting your cold so that you can hit your viral procs. Really, really nice. This is the build that I have. But again, no Riven, run this. Now for our secondary of choice, we are using the Nucor. We really want to have a pistol because Amalgam Barrel Diffusion and that dodge speed is going to enable us to roll around very, very quickly. You could even run more parkour velocity or dodge speed with orange shards for Nyx if you want to take this build even further. However, we're getting just a little bit thanks to this mod. We also have Cascadia Flare because this is where we're going to get most of our damage from, because heat is actually the strongest element on this build. And if you're curious of what my initial status is, it is actually Toxin. So if you want to run this exact build, make sure your Nucor is Toxin. And we do have crit chance, crit damage, and our Galvanize mods. And then Ruinous Extension is really nice because this is a beam weapon. And so the further the enemies are, you're going to want to have a way to reach them thanks to this mod. And lastly, our melee. And like I said, the enemies can be pretty far from you, so having a way to reach them without having to move a whole lot is really nice because, again, even though we have the ability to move while we're in our 4th, Assimilate, we don't actually move that quickly, and so it can be kind of a chore to move around and try to reach these enemies. So I recommend having beam weapons and a thrown melee, and so for the thrown melee we are using the Glaive. Now the Glaive does have a Riven, however you can replace this with anything if you want to add more attack speed or anything. I'm just using it for the crit chance, but this is the build for thrown melees. We got Volatile Return, Killing Blow, and Organ Shatter. So make sure you're running something like this, and you'll be set. Now for the companion, we are running Nautilus, and there's one reason why. Cordon. This mod allows you to group enemies up constantly, forcing them to you instead of you to them. So we have beam weapons, we have thrown melees, and we have cordon, which is going to enable these enemies to just surround you. You're going to be invincible, you don't have to move, and all of the enemies will be right in front of you, and you can kill them super quickly. If you're in survival, this will help keep the survival percent above 90%. As you saw in the gameplay, I never really dropped below 80, so this is really, really nice. We have ways of causing this ability cooldown to be even lower, thanks to Manifold Bond. So causing status effects and killing them, you're going to be grouping them up repeatedly. I think it's like every 3 or 4 seconds. So this is the build we're running. And then for the weapon, we're using the Hellstrom. This is just the mini rocket thing. Now this does have 2 forma, but you really don't need to. And you also don't need heat viral. You could run whatever status you want. And now we come to the nuance part. Now I am running the Madurai Focus School, and that is because we want that casting speed, because Nyx actually does kind of have slow casting speed without it. So this is a nice way to do it. And while you're in her 4, you can even do it. While she's in her 4, you can just hop into your operator and get out. Super duper easy. Another nuance thing is you'll notice that my Chaos Sphere is black. I highly recommend you color code your energy to black. Otherwise, the particle effects will hurt your eyes. Trust me. Black is going to enable you to see enemies more clearly and focus less on trying to figure out where these enemies are. If it's a bright color like red or yellow or something, this is going to help save your eyes, and you'll thank yourself for it. And lastly, the very, very cool thing about Absorb is it actually makes your companion invincible as well. So you and your companion will never die. Even after the companion rework where they revive after 60 seconds, you never have to worry about losing your companion or vacuum. As long as your Absorb is up, they never die. So just to kind of showcase this again, we'll even get our energy back just a little bit. We'll go over here. They can't kill me. Nautilus is grouping them up. Go ahead and confuse them. Oh, let's get our casting speed up. Confuse them. Pacify bolts. Activating Karnan. Make sure you hit our 1. We want to make sure we're getting our energy back. Yep. That's it. That's the build. You're invincible. Your companions are invincible. You have beam weapons, you have thrown melee, you have grouping, acolytes can't touch you, you're unkillable. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I always like to end these videos with showcasing my fashion. Now, Nyx was the very last frame, a part of the poll that I did for my next 3 videos, so I will be doing another poll at some point this week with 3 brand new frames. If you want to pick one early, you can actually leave a comment down below, and I might consider it, putting it in the poll. But other than that, if you're new here and you're not subscribed, consider doing so. I upload Warframe content pretty regularly, and if you like this type of content and you want to stick around, go ahead, check out my other videos, hit subscribe. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.